All right, good afternoon. Welcome to day 4 of the 2024 iQFOiL European Championships here in Cagliari in beautiful Sardinia. My name is Sandy and I'm joined here in the booth by Mr. Rafferty Reid. Rafferty, what an event it's been so far.
It has been an epic event so far, Sandy. I mean, there's been quite a lot of contrasting as well.
Yep.
Before the event, I actually spent a bit of time here before the event, which was really awesome, and we got some quite strong winds, some offshore stuff, which made some really interesting conditions, kind of gusty, shifty, and then moving in towards the competition that we've had. Actually, it's been quite different. I mean, those first 2 days, it was that day 0. I mean, they had the practice race, and we had that kind of same wind that we had before the competition. Then going into those first few races, we've had the kind of thermal winds, but it's been quite light. It has been quite light. So now we've today we haven't actually had any racing, unfortunately, but the sun has been dreamy. The conditions have been great. Everyone's been playing in the water, playing football, having a good time.
Absolutely.
But yeah. I mean, as we said, I mean, let's have a look at that day 0 when we did have a little bit of wind. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the 2024 iQFOiL European Championships. And this is going to be a very interesting event, as from the riders we will be seeing 2 very different focuses. On the one side, we have the riders who have just competed the Olympics, so this event will be more of a cool-down event after an intense 4 years.
Well, the vibe for me to come here, of course, is mostly because I want to be racing. It's still a European Championship, which is an important event, and it's a really nice way, I think, to end the season.
I'm really trying to take away a couple of key points here. I'm here to grow and learn a bit.
Of course, there's always pressure, but in a good way.
On the other hand, this is the first event of the next Olympic 4-year cycle.
For them, it's a nice stepping stone towards LA maybe and get that funding going for next year. So pressure will be on for most of the guys. So we're going to be seeing some tight racing, obviously.
So this means there's a lot of other athletes hoping to prove themselves and kickstart their campaign, hopefully towards that 2028 Olympics.
For him, it's my home event. I was born here, so I know a bit of secrets.
Being the day before the official racing starts, we have the practice race and, of course, the opening ceremony. Everything is set and everyone is prepared, so join us tomorrow for the first day of racing.
Always good vibes. That start of the event, that first day, everyone kind of pleased to see each other. And of course, 2024 has been such a big year for the iQFOiL. You know, we had the Olympics earlier on this summer. And something really interesting to touch on, Rafferty, that I think you briefly mentioned in that video is that kind of real interesting aspect we've got at this event where some of the athletes are kind of here for a bit of a cool down, a bit of a rest. They just want to come and enjoy some racing after a really intense few years, obviously culminating in the Olympics earlier this summer. And then you've got some other athletes that are really coming up and pushing hard and kind of starting that 4-year cycle as we look towards LA in 2028. What's the vibe been like that you've experienced over the last few days with all the riders?
It's a fun one. I mean, it's always fun. It always is fun. I mean, as you said, we've got those people who have already put in a really big cycle. I mean, the Olympics is the biggest sporty event in the world. And for these riders, well, majority of these riders, if not all the riders, that is their end goal, the Olympic Games. So the people who have worked 4 years have, like, completely just shattered themselves the whole way, absolutely shattered towards that end goal. And now they've had those months off to really come back into it. And this, as you said, it's kind of that cool down event, but also also the start of event, which is really exciting. But then again, with those kind of youth and the ones who have been coming through maybe just the first couple years of that senior event, this is the time when they really need to put in a big stint. But it's also a really good opportunity, actually, because some of the riders who have been competing in that Olympics, who've been right at the top, who've been really working really hard, have actually taken some time off now, so they aren't here, which is very interesting. So that creates a really good opportunity for some of these new riders to hopefully put in some
climb up a little bit.
Exactly, climb up a bit, put in some really good results. And it's also really important to note that this competition, as it's such a pinnacle competition, it's the European Championships, one of the biggest competitions throughout these riders' years, is that here is where some funding can be determined. And, you know, doing a 4-year campaign towards the Olympics, it's no matter what sport you're in, it's not cheap. So this is a really important one for all of them to hopefully show themselves towards these national governing bodies, and hopefully secure some of that towards this next 4-year campaign.
Absolutely. And let's take a little look at a short video of some of the riders and how these scenarios are all going to take place.
We're here for the Europeans. So it's a post-Olympic cycle Europeans. Yeah, ready to roll. It's a Euros, it's important. It's just like the Worlds. It's maybe not the Olympics, but still a nice title to have, yeah.
So actually, yeah, this is just like the end of the 2024 season, and next year I will be continuing to push the level and go for the next Olympics. I'm here, of course, is mostly because I want to be racing. It's still a European Championship, which is an important event, and it's a really nice way, I think, to end the season. Also after the Olympics, which of course was the main event this year, but I think it's just super cool to be back also with the big fleet and be here and enjoy some racing.
I guess for me the season was like in 2 parts, like up to the Olympics, and I sort of took like a 2-month break from competing, and I was just enjoying water sports at home. So it's like I guess a little bit of a second part of the season where mainly I'm focusing on just having fun and enjoying the time on the water and enjoying competing. So that's about that.
Oh yeah, I think it's quite crucial for a bunch of youth and younger guys or guys that really missed the boat for the games to get their funding for the next campaign. So I think it will be quite hard racing, even though it's not for me so important. It's a pretty important event to get the funding for the next couple of years. So for them it's a nice stepping stone towards LA maybe and get that funding going for next year. So I think it will be quite hard and pressure will be on for most of the guys. So we're going to be seeing some tight racing, obviously.
Hello, my name is Stanisław Trepczyński, Pole 777, iQFOiL. I'm 19 years old. A lot of sailors, just a warm-up before upcoming season, but for other sailors like me, it's an important event because this is the last chance to secure our budget for upcoming years. And it's crucial for sailors like me, under 23 especially. Of course, the goal is to go for the Olympics. We will see how it goes. It's still 4 years. Everything can happen. One injury and you're off. But I'll do my best. I'll work really, really hard to achieve this, because this is, I think, the goal that every iQFOiler wants to achieve, the Olympic Games. Of course, in Poland it's really hard because we have a lot of good guys.
I'm Carola Colasanto, Italy 239, and we are here currently in Cagliari for the European Championships. Last year I was the sparring partner of Marta in Marseille. We did a lot of training camps together, and she inspired me as an athlete and also as a person. So yes, I aspire to be like her and to go to the Olympics and fight for that place. Obviously, winning the Youth World Championship in Lake Garda this summer is a fantastic result for me, and coming here into the European Championship, I want to prove myself that I can still be competitive also in the senior fleet, so I will try to do that.
I don't know, for me it's more about learning what's going on, and I mean I feel pretty quick, so I think I will be in the game for the podium like always, but I'm really trying to take away a couple of key points here and, you know, take that with me to the winter and, you know, make sure I'm there again next season.
Some really interesting insights coming there from the athletes about these big changes coming up. And speaking of big changes, we are joined here in the studio by class manager Gonzalo Costa-Jovel. Gonzalo, can you give us some of your thoughts on this kind of change and how important this event is in terms of some of the riders, the Olympians, kind of cooling down a little bit after a really intense year, and then of course the other riders looking to kind of start that 4-year cycle. What's that been like for you to kind of look at the athletes and how they're dealing with it over the last few days at this event?
Yeah, so of course the Olympic Games was the event on the quadrennial, right? Everybody trained and tried to compete at their best at that event. And then we can see most of the athletes that went to the games to kind of cooling down, having a little holiday before they start their new campaign. But then we have these angry athletes coming up. A lot of young athletes are here performing really well. We already saw that in Silvaplana that they were really performing really well. The event in Silvaplana, we allowed senior sailors to compete in, and then in the end there were not many of them on the top 10. So we can see this younger generation really angry for results, and as well to start the cycle early. So this event is pretty much the first big event after the games, where all these athletes, younger athletes, let's say, are fighting to get support for the next years, right? If they get a good result at this event, they top 8, top 5, even podium, they can actually get some good support from their federations for the next years, right? So it's a big deal for them, and it's really cool to see from our side, right? We can argue that until the games, all our focus was about that first Olympic Games on our first cycle ever, Olympic Games for iQFOiL. So our aim was about that, and then obviously we put a lot of work on the youth and junior class on the last 3 years. Those numbers were really big. We actually got to 430, I think, in Lake Garda last year at the Europeans. That's huge. And obviously we did work on the side for developing the future, right? And a lot of those youth guys transition to the senior fleet, and we saw them racing in Silvaplana last year and this year on the under 21 and under 23 worlds. And then here we can see them already having great results against the senior guys, even senior guys that were at the games medalists, right? So we can see that the work we put in the youth class and the youth and junior class, it actually worked and paid off, and as well all the investment from the federations on that class, actually they managed to develop really competitive sailors that are now at the first or second year of their iQFOiL senior career, already performing extremely well, having top 10 results or even top 5 results. I think I don't want to be mistaken here, but I think that on the RSX class, on the previous class, or in any of the other sailing classes, it's very tough for a youth to transition to the senior class. They probably need 3 or 5 or even 6 years of kind of average or not very good results before they shine and they have eventually one good result. And here we can see that happening pretty quick, right? So that shows that on this kind of world that we live on, that you want to see instant results, and that the kids, the youth and the juniors or like young athletes these days, they want instant results. That's the common thing. Then that instantly they have a good result and they manage to put their dream into this and their life into this, saying, okay, I might be a medalist in LA. I'm not having to think that I will start campaigning and only maybe I get a result in Brisbane on 32, right? So the forecast or the strategy from federations and all that, now it got simplified to a much shorter term, which is obviously a lot better cost effective. You don't need to invest on an athlete for 8 years to see a first result. You can see it straight away, right? So that's really good to see, and good to see that the class is not only attractive and cool and high adrenaline, but as well is being really well in numbers and growing numbers. We have the world's in 2 weeks' time in Palma de Mallorca, and at the moment I think we have 380 and registered, so we probably will pass our record of 430. We'll probably be around 450, so that's really cool to see. And obviously back to the question was we probably focus now on the first couple of years of the cycle on how the future looks for the class. So we obviously try to have these events for the under 23s and to encourage them to continue campaigning. And of course, when we get closer to LA in 27, 28, then obviously the focus goes again to, okay, medals, right? Olympic Games, and then obviously the federations start narrowing down their teams, right? Yeah.
Yeah, For sure, some very exciting times for everyone involved, for the riders, for the youth coming up, for the juniors, for already the existing seniors coming up, and also for all of us. There's exciting times left, right and centre. And talking of exciting times, I actually saw you at the Olympic Games in Paris. So talk to me about how that was to work day in, day out for 4 years and coming up to that moment. How did that feel?
It was a great experience. Of course, working so hard on it with everybody on the X committee and the executive committee, and then of course with Valerie, which is the class secretary. We worked very hard to be at those Olympic Games, and we were there with Valerie, being able to go in the water, and we were servicing the athletes. So if anything would happen with their gear, they would come to our boat, or we were the ones getting called off to replace the item. Let's say there was a crash between two sailors, so then they had to change a front wing. So I was going with Valerie with the boat and changing that. So it was really cool to be able to be in the water. And of course, I'm still overwhelmed. I think it didn't sink in yet, but seeing all this seeing the hard work and the dreams of all these athletes going to their first campaign on iQFOiL, and seeing obviously some of them only 6 got medals, the other ones kind of didn't make it all the way to the top, but there were many achievements made out of the podium as well. There were very happy, a lot of happy athletes about the performance of the games, and obviously pushes us to go for the next one, right, and to improve, and obviously it gives us a good sort of energy and fuel to continue another cycle of working really hard, because we do work hard.
Yeah, for sure, and it really shows. I mean, all of us, I think this is by far the coolest sailing class. It really is, and we saw it there. It's really, really exciting. So some of the things, you said that you touched on, that working towards that 4 years, that 24 that we've just had, that Games was the first one that we just had. That 28 Games in LA, that's going to be our second one. So what kind of things are you going to be taking from that 4-year cycle and maybe putting it in place for this cycle coming up?
A couple of changes coming up. Of course, the hot one is the change of sail size. We're going to start racing from next year onwards with a smaller sail. So the 9 meter will change to an 8 for the men, and for the youth remains the same 8 meter. And then for the woman, it will go down from 8 to 7.3 as well for the youth woman, right? They will use the same 7.3. So what that will make is it will allow a lot of light sailors that actually gave it a go and then had to drop the iQFOiL class because they were not heavy enough, and a lot of sailors that actually did the first cycle and were not hitting those high weights. It will give them a new chance to be able to come and perform. The whole idea here was never to push away the heavy sailors. The heavy sailors will still be very competitive, but with the change of the sail, actually what we're achieving is giving this opportunity to these lighter sailors to perform as well as the heavier sailors, right? So the heavier sailors will still be there. They will still be probably dominating or high there, but they will have a lot of more competitors to fight it against, right? So that's happening. It's coming up. So obviously here we have the 7.3, the final one. It will be sailed by the teams, and it's a really good positive change because we will definitely become a much bigger class and a much healthier class. Teams, sailors will be able to just train and think about performing in the water and taking out of the most of the equipment to be able to go quicker or what racing strategy they want to achieve on that race, instead of thinking on surviving because everything is just too powerful for them. And then it started like a war of who manages to get to some certain weights, which was actually some of them could, some of them couldn't. Right, we could see that especially on the women's fleet. Some of the girls managed to go really high in weights. Some other ones they just couldn't, and then they hit that limit, and then kind of that related to how fast you were going to go. So it was a bit of a nervous feel to see that, that we're actually restricting the amount of people that can enter the class, and we're actually forcing them to enter these really heavy diets to get heavier and heavier and heavier, and probably spending more time in the gym and in the kitchen rather than sailing, right? So that's obviously not what I want to see. And most importantly, our youth class and junior class, as I said before, it's a very healthy one. We have very big numbers, and the idea was that the transition from the youth to the senior becomes smoothless. So then when you're a youth sailor now, you are already competing on the 8 meters. So then when you go to the senior class, you just need to change the boom. You go from an aluminum boom to a carbon boom, and as well you change the board. You go from the white board that is an 85 centimeter white board to the senior board. So the amount of money you need to spend to transition from youth to senior is not that much. But most importantly, the gain on weight you need to go through is not that big. The current system we had until now, until the end of this year, is that pretty much an athlete that is youth had to go to a gain of 15 kilos or 20 kilos even to enter the senior category and to be competitive. Which is very hard for a 17 or 18 or 19-year-old kid to put 20 kilos to suddenly become competitive against all these older and more experienced guys, which are already on that weight, which probably have a lot more support from the federation. So then that change was a drastic one, and now we managed to address it and to solve it for the next cycle. So we can see a lot of continuity on our youth class going into the senior class. We already saw a lot of youth sailors, as we said, here and doing good. We're going to see even more, right? So we can see a much healthier fleet putting effort in foil tacking, strategy, training like athletes to trying to achieve results instead of the other strategy that I had to go through now, right? So what does this mean? It means that we probably will have a lot more nations doing iQFOiL. We had a big drop from nations from South America, Asia, because they just couldn't be on those targeted weights. So then we could see those countries probably continuing and a lot of other countries joining, knowing that it's not so hard to be on the ideal weight. The range of ideal weight will be much bigger. So you could actually be from 80 to 88 and be extremely competitive, whereas at the moment you are pretty much nowhere. Then the ideal weight probably will be between 85 and 92, which is kind of big range. And then if you're above 90, within 90, 95, you will still be extremely competitive. We're in a foiling class, so everybody knows that foiling, the heavier you are, the windier it is, then you probably go really quick and it's an advantage. So we can see a big range of weights being effective, and a much wider community, a much bigger amount of nations doing iQFOiL, which in the end is very important for us, and it's very important for the Olympic Committee that we remain a universal class with a lot of nations involved, because that's what in the end matters and what keeps the medals for the next cycles, right? So of course we know that in LA we are in, and okay, we know that for Brisbane most likely we are in. You know, we have informal information that obviously we are in for Brisbane. So, but we can never forget that we need to remain attractive, right? And that change of sail will make it happen. You know, we'll continue with this really high and steep curve of having people coming and joining the class.
Absolutely, yeah. Some really great insights there, Gonzalo, and a really exciting time for the iQFOiL, I think, and where it's going to go. Yeah, thank you very much for your time, Gonzalo. Yeah. Cool. And with that being in mind, obviously, you know, we've had a good few days racing. I mean, that's pretty exciting, isn't it, Rafferty? You know, moving towards that. You know, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's exciting times left, right, and centre. Holy moly, isn't it? I mean, it's just nothing short of it. I'm having a lovely time. Everyone's having a lovely time. I mean, even though there was no racing today, everyone was still having a lovely time on the beach. There was sun, there was sand, it was amazing. And even more exciting, here in the booth, we are joined with Marta Maggetti, gold Olympic medalist. How's it going, Marta?
It's going quite good. Yes, this month is a bit busy. I didn't do an holiday still because I'm so busy, but no, it's super nice. Stay here at home, have my family, all cheering, yes. Oh, so it's amazing.
Yeah, this is your home, isn't it? This is the home spot. How's it to have the European Championships here at home?
Nice. I'm happy that also the guys are enjoying it. They like the place. I think it's a paradise, no? So yes, unluckily yesterday and today, yes, was strange, but I think from tomorrow will be cool with Mistral.
Hopefully. So no, it's really exciting.
What's it been like? You know, obviously you're not competing here. You know, you've had a pretty busy few years and a very busy summer. Has it been quite relaxing, or have you been tempted to like go and do some racing as well, or are you just trying to fully sort of keep relaxing?
No, I'm relaxing. You know, I like to see a bit sometimes different. I was on the boat, see the races, but yes, it's hard staying on the boat and not sailing. But in this month, I was also a bit injured, so I'm still staying quiet and sailing just in time.
Right. Well, how is famous life treating you? I'm seeing you always getting a lot of interviews, a lot of pictures, a lot of press. How does that feel?
Yes, for me it's hard because it's not my stuff. I'm so shy, so it's a bit hard, but no, it's also cool.
What was it? I mean, this is such a silly question, I guess, but you know, straight after the games and everything's finished, you know, it's such a build-up for 4 years to go and do these games, and you finish and you win that gold. I mean, what was the first thing you did? You know, after do you kind of freak out and get excited, or did you kind of go? You know, you said you're quite shy. Did you kind of go and take some time by yourself to process it? How was it after you won?
Time for myself in this month. Yeah, really. But yes, it was hard to be more relaxed because you know you stay all the years, 4 years going training, so you are adrenaline all the day. So when I stopped, I was like, well, what I have to do now? I know that I have to relax, but it's hard. I need to go in the water and do something sports. Yeah.
And going back to that time when you were racing, it's a very broad question, but what was it that allowed you to get that gold medal at the Olympics?
I don't know. I think it's important to stay quiet and focused, but just I think I was strong mentally. It was just this.
Yeah, I could imagine this competition is the biggest sporting event in the world, and that 4 years leading up to it, what was the kind of your plan in that 4 years? Did it start right at the start of that 4 years, or did you start maybe 3 years, 2 years, or what was that? When did that start of, yes, I want to become that Olympic gold medalist?
In this sport, it's hard, you know. Okay, maybe you are at top level. You know that maybe you can win a medal, but with this format it's so hard. It can happen everything, so it's more stressful than normal races in sail.
Right. Yeah.
I think in Tokyo helped me a lot because I did doing the first Olympic. It's important. You are more, you know how it is the game. So this helped. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, and I mean, you started well in that. You were world champion as well. So I'm sure, did that take you thinking mentality that boosted that confidence, and kind of, was it okay? I can chill a little bit. I'm world champion, or was it like no, I need to keep going. I need to keep pushing.
You have to stay. I don't know. It's hard to explain. For sure, it's also maybe you are well prepared, but it's not your week. It depends a lot from forecast and stuff.
Well, again, a huge congratulations, and
Thank
we can't
you.
wait to see you racing back in the events very soon.
Thank you, Marta. Yeah, absolutely. And with that, obviously we checked out the highlights from day 0. Let's take a little look at the highlights from day 1 with some racing action.
The first day of the European Championships is upon us.
The sky is clear. I think we'll have thermal wind.
Yeah, it looks promising actually, like much better than the forecast. The wind is coming in quite early, it seems, so hopefully some nice slalom racing, that would be fun.
They're fast, they're spectacular. You have to be really accurate with the starting line. The fights are tight and the boards are going board to board.
There is sun, there is wind here in Cagliari, but it is quite light though. So to start things off, we will be going with slalom. taking the first win of the European Championships is Paweł Tarnowski.
I'm happy the last, last meters of the downwind, so for sure it's gonna be interesting competition.
Kicking off with a win in the women, it was Manon Pianazza.
I had a good start and good start of the event, so let's see what will happen tomorrow.
But at the end of the day, the standings are still very tight. In the men, Paweł Tarnowski continued his performance with that race win at the start, and now he is currently leading the men overall. Leading the women's fleet is Anastasia Valkovic. But a very special mention goes out to Alice Reed, who got her first senior race win. Not one, but also two, and that puts her in second place overall.
I had really good speed today, actually. I was really comfortable and made some good decisions, like first drive decisions after the first mark.
And there is still so much to play for as we have the whole rest of the week ahead of us. We'll see you tomorrow.
One word, fun racing. Actually, too.
A great first day, full of action, and we are joined here in the booth by the leader after that first day for the women's fleet, Anastasia Valkovic. Talk us through how that first day went. How was the racing on that day?
My first event in a long time. Yeah, I couldn't compete for a long time, but yeah, I'm happy to be here and started like that. It's super cool.
Exciting times. That's wicked. Straight into it, and you're having an epic time with that 3 wins. That was epic. I mean, we have had actually only 2 days so far of the competition, though. But how was that second day for you overall?
Actually, I started not bad. We had pretty light wind. It was like 6-8 knots. I won first race, and then I had BFD, and probably I put a lot of pressure on myself, and then before second start there was something on the water and I just fell down before the start. It was like 30-40 seconds before, and I couldn't start on the time, and yeah, I finished. I tried catch up. I finished 13. That wasn't so bad because I finished last. I started last, sorry, and then I catched up. I'm pretty happy what I did. I'm pumped a lot, but yeah, we still have tomorrow. Probably we'll have some good wind, and I can catch up something and be in top 3. Not top 3, top 10, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, well, I remember looking. Maybe one a little bit down, and then one. Then you could maybe drop another discard and then hopefully jump straight back up into there, isn't it? Yeah. But I remember you after that, on that second day, you're actually wearing a different coloured bib. I mean, sometimes it's yellow. Today it was this orange. Yeah. But did that add any extra pressure on that second day?
Of course, it built some pressure, a lot of pressure, and probably that's why I dropped. And lost some races, but now I don't have any pressure. I just want to enjoy every race and have fun. Yeah.
Awesome. I think that's number one for everything, and I'm a strong believer in when you have fun, everything goes well. You have a good time and perform well. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some racing tomorrow. I mean, what are your kind of thoughts? We've done a lot of slalom racing so far, no course racing actually. Would you like to carry on with that slalom, or maybe do some course racing?
We'll do some course races in 15 knots, hopefully, but we don't know. We never know because it's Sardinia, and so if we will do some slaloms, I would be happy as well. I just need some races. I just want to race again. And
yeah. You touched on it briefly there, as you said. Here we can't go too much off the forecast. The forecast is a bit hit and miss sometimes. Sometimes it can be one, sometimes it can be other. So how does it feel waiting on the beach, thinking when will the wind come? What do you do on the beach? How are you preparing yourself? Are you just chilling, or are you like, oh, let's get in the game, like writing some notes or something like that?
I'm just
chilling and trying to enjoy this summertime and drinking a lot of coffee, espresso, quite good in Italy, of course. And yeah, just speaking and chilling. Yeah, that's all.
Nice. Well, Anastasia, best of luck with the rest of the competition. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Best of luck. Cheers.
Good to get some insights there. And as you said, Rafsha, I think you brought up a really good point of like, it does seem to be that like when you're having fun is when they perform best, right? When you don't have that pressure, you can kind of relax into it a little bit. And that's really interesting, especially on that first day of the event, because kind of no one's got any pressure. So everyone's like, who's going to sort of do well? And speaking of that first day, we've got the leader who's had a really great day there on the men's side, Pavel Tarnowski. Pavel, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi.
Talk us through that first day of racing. How did it go down for you, and you know what was it like getting to the end of that day and being the leader of the pack?
Well, it was for sure a good day, very competitive, to be honest. I was not expecting much of my sailing, to be honest, because you know, I had more than 2 months or almost 2 months break of completely from windsurfing. After the Olympic Games, we had a lot of preparations, a lot of hours spent training for this event. I also had a lot of injuries. I broke my pinky toe. I had some other injuries to cure, so I was kind of impossible to even train. But I used this time as much as I could for the recovery, for some time with my family. And so going into the races, I was like, yeah, let's see how I feel. Feeling rookie there, back in the game, as I said in one of the interviews, was pretty fun because, and yeah, actually we just went for these races. I said, it's just a matter of doing a good start, like on time with a lot of speed from a good position, and then let's see how it goes from there. And to my surprise, I won the first 2 races, which was super nice. I felt great racing with the British guys, and one of the young Dutch guys was super competitive, super nice. We were even laughing to one another during these 2 races, to Matt Barton actually, which I love, you know, racing against, which it's always super competitive, but also super kind and super fun even sometimes. Another 2 races were more difficult to me. I finished the 3rd race, I finished 3rd. I was a bit late for the start, but still in the pack with Finn Hawkins and Youth, I think. We were, you know, racing. I was trying to get them tactically, roll them tactically. I made a small mistake on the jibe and lost some meters, but still was super happy to be, you know, neck and neck on the finish. And the 4th race was actually my worst result, but this was the race where I put the most of my physics and most effort out there. But this is how it goes. Like if you're back there, if you have a bad start, I was late, I got rolled. You then just have to pump so hard. You really need to go all in to even get top 10, to be in the first half, which is super hard sometimes. That's how I felt in the last race of the first day.
Right, yeah, no, it sounds very raw. So much happened on that first day. I mean, we've had 2 days so far, but as you said, I mean, this is kind of that kind of, you're coming into it after a lot of time off, kind of that cool down event, being one of the riders who was competing in that Olympics and now coming straight back into the competition. But it must be a huge contrast between this competition and the Games. So talk us through some of the things that you've done towards the Olympics to prepare for that, but you haven't done here, or vice versa, what you've done towards here, but then not to the Games.
You know, during the Olympics, for sure, the organization was on the water was not that well. We also were struggling a lot with the weather, with super light winds on the shore, same as here today or yesterday. But I remember doing a very great effort throughout the whole competition until the last meters of the last race, when I just had a super bad luck, bad coincidence, which never happened to me before. And here I kind of felt in the first and second day as well, kind of similar. It's not always about winning every single race, but it's about minimalizing the meters when you lose or when you're not first. It's just about being constantly somewhere around the top positions, and this in the end gives you probably top 3 or top 5 or for sure top 10. And this is, I think, the goal, especially with the format we have. It's just to be in the top 10, and then the last day it's all or nothing, and this is how it goes.
Yeah, right. No, it's It's really cool. I mean, it must have felt amazing to be at that point, but then coming straight back into it as well, being at the top, it must be really cool. But also something that I've seen, you've got your family here. It's really cool. And
that was the plan, actually, to go here, do my best for sure. Like sports-wise, I always do my best. Even when I'm not, when I was not preparing specifically for this event, I came here. Like you could see on the results, some races were very good, some were, let's say, more average, but I still always fight for these last meters as well, like I said before. But the most important time for me now is time with my family, which I didn't have as much as now when I was preparing for the Olympic Games. And to me, it's super important. It's just as important as doing best in the sport. And I feel, being here with my beautiful wife, with my great kid, to me, it's just mind-blowing. It gives me so much motivation, so much power, joy and happiness. Even in days like this, when we're not even sailing, when we're waiting for the races, I just feel like home, because where my family is, my home is. So that was the original plan, to go here for my family to get some sun, because it's always a bit colder in Poland at this time of the year. You probably know something about it, right? but then, to still be able for my kid to see me go out racing every day is just mind-blowing. Like, I was not even aware how he would react. And imagine the first 2 days when I was going out training, he didn't even notice too much. But then when I put him on my board, the day after, he started hailing at me like, "Tata, tata, father, father." He could see me from 20, 40 meters when I was going back from training. He could already see me. He was waving to me. Imagine, it's like, I have goosebumps when talking about it. It was so nice, so amazing. My motivation is to do my best to show, to my kid in the future, like, look, daddy was pretty good in the sport as well. And maybe it will help him somehow do some windsurfing or some other water sports. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, maybe you got another Olympian on the way. God blimey.
Help him as much as he wants in the future, but it's going to be his choice, that's for sure.
Yeah, so no, boy, it's amazing to hear. You're kind of getting that work-life balance spot on. That's amazing. Is there anything else that you're going to take that's different towards the last cycle into this cycle? Is there any changes that you're going to make?
Sports-wise, family-wise, in my private life, social life, I think actually I'm pretty happy of what I've achieved, of what we've achieved as a team, in sports, in trainings, what I managed to achieve with my family, with my close friends, people around me. I'm super happy about all of this. I'm also happy about my performance, about my events. It has actually been one of my best years in the career. As far as I remember, with the World Championship February this year, Palma de Mallorca World Cup, where I was fighting also with being there together with my family and with my kid. It was a great event. Then I had an injury. I broke my pinky toe. I was struggling a lot during the preparation. I was not showing off too much because it was kind of like a mental game of mine as well, like just to not show my weaknesses. But I know during this Olympic Games, I did a great performance throughout the most of the days, apart from the last final day. But still, I was struggling so much that to me it was a great event. That's why I'm saying this was one of my best events. Hopefully, I'm cured already, and I just want to continue everything as it was throughout the next cycle. And let's hope it's going to be a great fun. That's for sure, because this is, I think, most important. It gives you most motivation, and all the rest I just hope will come as well, or will at least stay as it is now.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great to hear, Pavel. I think it's such an awesome mindset you've got here, and I hope anyone watching can take away. As Rafferty said, I feel like you've really found the balance, and thank you very much for sharing it all with us.
Yeah, thank you very much, and keeping fingers crossed for better wind conditions tomorrow.
For sure.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the competition.
Thanks, Pavel.
Thank you so much.
Amazing to hear from Pavel there. But of course, there's been loads of other action going on. That was the leaders after day one. But let's take a little look at some of the highlights from day two's racing.
I feel super prepared for the day and looking forward for the win.
Day number 2 of the European Championships here in Cagliari, Sardinia has begun.
Yeah, it was good yesterday. I'm excited for a bit more wind today, hopefully some course racing.
The plan for today is to go for 4 races and enjoy the racing in this beautiful place.
The wind came in quite late in the end, but it was still there, so all the riders made their way out onto the water.
Well, there's no wind at the moment. We are waiting for the wind, so yeah, so it's gotta pass the time. Changing to slalom actually, it's very light, so slalom it is.
On a roll was Maja Gisler from Norway. She won all 4 of her races. That puts her into 3rd place overall.
I took a backflip before the race and I think I got some powers, you know, and then I had a good start and finished first.
But currently at the top of the women, it is Isla Watson from Great Britain. On the men's side, their races were riddled with general recalls.
We're pushing too much. Everyone wants to win. It's a tough competition. Only the strong survives.
There was a lot of mixing around in these tricky conditions, but it was Luca Di Somati from Italy coming out on top with 2 race wins. That's it for day number 2, and we'll catch you tomorrow here in Cagliari.
All right, yeah, so another amazing day of racing on day 2 of the event here in Cagliari, and we are joined in the booth by the current leader in the women's fleet, Isla Watson. Talk us through your event so far. How's it been?
Yeah, it's been really good. Well, we've had 2 really good days to kick off. We had slalom on both of them, a kind of mix of some windier stuff and some super light stuff. So yeah, it's been exciting. A bit shame about the wind the last 2 days, but yeah, the racing we did get was really good quality and rattled through it really quick. So yeah, it's good, and I've had some good results. So happy.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, you're currently leading overall. That's absolutely epic. I mean, how does that feel to be at the top? We talked with Anastasia earlier, and she said that it does add a lot of pressure being in that top position and also wearing that orange bib at this time. What's your thoughts on that? How are you coping with that? Is that like chilling, or are you like, oh, good grief?
Well, I haven't actually had to wear it on the water yet. You know, I've been leading for the last 2 days and we haven't actually done any sailing, so I'm just chilling at the moment. But yeah, it's funny. Like I have maybe one race, but then the rest of my results have just been like consistent top 3, and then the second day of racing I had 2 quite bad results. I had one where I crashed, and then another race where I just didn't foil. And then I came off the water feeling quite like down about that, and then somehow I was leading the event. So I guess I'm kind of have to crack along and see how it goes.
Just get on with it, innit?
But yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. It looks like it's going to be a full day of good races. So yeah, feel good about it.
Jolly hope so. As we're looking at the rankings up on there, I mean, as you said, I mean, you're on 20 points, leading by 4 points. But if we look at that total points, that does highlight the points where you said you had a little whoopsie. But I mean, the points that the net points there, that's what really matters. I mean, only 4 points ahead.
the top 4 there.
Not much between it, is there?
No, definitely not. So it'll be all on tomorrow, I think, to get the top spot for the medal race.
Is there any other athletes' names that kind of stick out that you're really kind of watching out for, or as you said, is it really, really competitive among that entire sort of top 10?
Yeah, all the top 10 there are definitely pushing it. Daniela there in second, obviously has had a good couple of days. Like, just yeah, it's one of those where anyone could, if anyone has a good day tomorrow, then they could be, in a good place to win. So yeah, it's pretty close racing.
And in terms of, something Rafferty mentioned to some of the other guys earlier, we've only really managed to do the slalom so far on the first 2 days. You had a really great time. Tomorrow, fingers crossed, it looks like we're going to be doing some course racing. What does adding those upwind elements into that kind of mean for you? Do you have a kind of preferred format?
Yeah, I don't know. I usually prefer the course racing side of it, but I've had some really good starts in the slalom, so that's been going really well. But I have moderate confidence on the course racing side of things, but there's a lot of people in there that have been going really well at wind, like in the pre-training and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how it all adds up. But I think it'll mix things up probably tomorrow. But yeah.
Well, you're one of the riders that this competition is kind of that first set up towards that next 28 cycle. What does this competition mean to you? Is it a point where you need to show to federations, maybe to secure funding, maybe to get in teams, or is it all for yourself, or maybe even a mix?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just a good sort of restart almost. Like the last year or so, I've obviously been like training with Emma and stuff and pushing her for her goals and everything. And then the last like month or so, I've kind of just been focused back on myself and my own racing. So it's just a nice like confidence builder, I guess. I hope I can just get a good result sort of under my belt, because it's been quite up and down the last couple of seasons. So just more confidence going into the next cycle to hopefully build on that. Yeah.
I mean, you're doing a jolly good job of it at the start. With well, I mean, the consistency's there with the results, and hopefully you can take it towards there. I mean, as we said, it is down to that last day. If you can get inside that top 10, and also if you can make yourself inside that top 3, and if you're leading, you get a free trip straight to that final. You have had a lot of experience, and what has your experiences been in that kind of that last day, those medal races?
Yeah, well, I guess the medal race, like anything can really happen. I have been in a few medal races in my time. I've never gone in first. I think I've maybe gone in like second and then stayed second, or gone in fourth and come 10th kind of thing. So like, yeah, it's been a mixed bag for me, medal racing, but I've really been working on it. Obviously Emma's been working on it, so I've been with her trying to nail that down. So I've done a lot of work on it in the last year or so. So I'm, feeling quite confident, hopefully. I don't know. You never know. We'll see what happens.
That's it. I mean, hopefully you can stay in that. I mean, that would be the dream, and then see what happens. But yeah, that's something that you've touched on as well. You've been training with Emma, the British Olympian, who went to Paris a lot recently, and now you're currently concentrating on yourself, setting yourself up for that cycle. And you've got quite a big and strong team in with the Brits. How's that team, and what have you been up to lately to prepare for this competition?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great, obviously training with Emma, which is like, she's the best. So training with the best is kind of a good deal for me. And then the rest of the girls in the team, after M-Dog went to Olympics, I obviously went back and joined in with them, which is obviously a great big training group to be part of. So, there's always stuff going on and people to train with. And the girls have really been pushing, and obviously Alice with her good results on day one. Like, we're all kind of just pushing each other, and kind of, I think with a big team, it's really nice to have people to bounce off and stuff. So I think that shows. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those interesting things, just to finish up. It's like you're kind of all sort of friends in those training sessions and helping each other out and spotting what each other's doing. But also, is there a certain level of, once you do hit the water and once you do hit the course, it is kind of everyone for themselves, isn't it? What's it like kind of balancing that kind of mindset of like friends off the water and competitors on the water? I know you must get this all the time, but yeah, what's that like, kind of balancing that?
Yeah, no, I think everyone's in the same boat, and then everyone understands we're in a competitive like sort of environment. So when you're racing, it's kind of like you're just sort of out for yourself, focused on your own thing. But obviously then you come off the water and you see how everyone else's day's gone, and you're happy for them or disappointed for them and stuff. So we get on really well, and it's not like I don't think there's any bad feelings towards anyone in the racing. So yeah, it's nice. It's good.
Nice. Well, Isla, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck with the rest of the event.
Thank you.
Cheers, Isla.
Thank you.
So yeah, just so many insights coming through there, Rafti, from everyone. And like I said earlier, you know, there is a bit of that kind of common theme of like people really trying to just keep it cool and remembering. And windsurfing does have that unique thing, and it is different to so many of these other sports, you know, Olympic or otherwise, in that ultimately it's a sport that we all got into because it's fun. You know, it's not necessarily like it, you know, there is that competitive element, of course, but also it's kind of like, is it a sport? Is it a lifestyle? You know, there is that kind of thing sort of, you know, added to it. And it ultimately comes down to, and you're a big proponent of this, you say this a lot, is it is that kind of thing that the person in that flow state and having fun generally is the one who is at the front of the pack, right?
Exactly. I mean, when you're having fun, you're at the front, but also you are performing at your best. You know, if nothing's fun, you know, you just can't make things work. I mean, you're motivated. That's a big one. Motivation. When there's fun, there's motivation, which is really, really important. And talking of someone who likes to have fun on the race course, we are joined with another Brit, Matthew Barton. How's it going?
Hello, boys. Great to see you both. Yeah, I can't echo that enough. If you're enjoying yourself, it's way more motivating, and you know how to have fun when you're out there frothing. So, yeah, that's the key, isn't it? Enjoy yourself.
How's your event been so far then, Matt?
So really good so far. 6 slalom races, been really consistent, good starts. Just good vibes. Like feeling fast and starting well. So all I can ask for.
Right, that's it. I mean, you come into day number 4. I mean, not quite any racing, but currently in 3rd overall. You've got that bid. Have you put it on just to be a model it up and see how it looks on you?
I haven't worn it yet, but hopefully tomorrow I'll wear it for 5 races and maybe upgrade it to a gold one for the last day. But yeah, it's cool. We've been a bit unlucky with this storm that's caused the no wind, but I mean, you know, that's iQFOiL racing every time. Like every now and again, you don't get the conditions, but we've got 6 slalom done. We'll do 5 races tomorrow, and then we'll go to the finals. So all good, all good.
Let's make the dream happen. Yeah, as we go into those rankings overall. Yeah, as we said, currently in 3rd overall on equal points.
It's looking super close, especially that top 4. You know, maybe top 5. You know, there's not too much in it. There's as we said on the women's side, are there any names there that are kind of standing out that you're feeling particularly threatened by, or is it kind of everyone's performing at their best?
Hey, everyone's so good. All of those boys are quality windsurfers. Very happy to be joint points with my teammate Finn Hawkins. Got it on the count back, so it's always nice to get one over on him on that. I mean, like you can see, 16 to 19, 1st to 5th. So it's all on tomorrow. So yeah, I'm personally happy not to have used a discard yet. So takes a little bit of the nerves off tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, every single one of those lads is good enough to be winning this. So that's what's so exciting about the fleet at the moment.
That's it, and hopefully push yourself into that first.
Feeling really good at the moment, really good.
And what about the slalom versus the course racing? You know, some of the guys are saying that potentially there's a little bit more wind tomorrow, so we may be looking to add some upwind elements into the racing. How does that feel for you? You know, is there a particular format you prefer, or are you quite happy with both?
I like both a lot. I've done a lot on my upwind recently, so I'm really excited to see how that translates over. I was doing well before the event, so I feel good. I'd say slalom is much more execution based, so short. The start and that first reach are really important, whereas course racing you have more time to maybe catch up or to make more tactical decisions. So different skill sets. Don't know which one I prefer. I do enjoy slalom. I do love course. I suppose you prefer whichever one you're better at. So let's hope I'm better at course.
Yeah, right. Well, let's hope so. I mean, also, how does it feel? I mean, back in 21, was it? You were vice European champion? World champion. Yeah. There we go. Even better. So, but since then, it's kind of, haven't been quite up into that top 3. But how is it getting back into it now, being around that spot? Have you changed anything to get back in there? And also, just how does it feel?
I'd say obviously 2021 was kind of earlier days in the class, made some really good progress early on, and then the rest of the world caught up a lot to I think what we were doing really well, and certainly since we ended our trials at the end of 23, I've perhaps not been as motivated personally. I've been doing a lot of work with Emma, supporting her towards the games, and I think that gave me a really unique perspective on what it takes to do well in the class, and it's been just so enjoyable coming back to the 9 metre. Back with the boys, like really great atmosphere at the moment in the British team, and we're just having a great time. And like we go back to the beginning, if you're having a good time, you do well. So yeah, I'm vibing. It's great. It's great.
Sick to hear. That is epic. Yeah, I mean, as you said, you've also been doing a lot with Emma, and now coming back with the boys. Are you still doing a lot with Emma? Is she taking some time off, or are you? And also, are you back with the boys a lot, or still training with the girls as a big British team?
No. So I was purely just me, Emma, Isla, and Duncan in the lead up to the games. So we did all that stuff I was with her from January to the games, and then had a bit of time off over the summer. Then I got back into training when the boys got back from Silver Plana, full attack on the 9 metre with that group, and I don't think we'll be doing much stuff with the girls because we normally train separately, but you never know. In November, maybe we'll have a go on the 7-3 and see what it's like. So yeah, mate.
All's good. And that's something as well. I mean, as you said, you've been training a lot with the girls, and were you training on that 8 metre?
Yeah, so training on the 8. So I was fortunate enough to experience it a little bit. I think it will be a really cool thing for the class to have youth sailors transition onto the senior much easier than it is now, because I mean, I think you do have to be 90 kilos probably to be competitive on the 9. It certainly makes it a lot easier to be. And I think that jump was making it hard for some of the youths to make the transition across. Now weight won't change, kit doesn't change. Like there's not board, I suppose, but you know, there's not as many barriers for them to come up, and we'll just see the class grow, and it'll be a unique challenge and one I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mega. Again, more exciting. No more pies. There we go.
Nice.
Well, there we go. I mean, more exciting times, and this actually marks the first big event of the next cycle towards the 28 games. What is the plan at the minute? I mean, what's inside your head towards? I assume that 28 games is still that goal.
Yeah. So this is a funding regatta for us. So obviously that's the main aim is to do well to get secure funding for the next year. And then we move on to the 8 metre, and that will start from as soon as we get back. And as I said, that's a new set of challenges. But you've always got it in your mind that, you know, every year you're asked to perform for renew funding or to qualify for the Olympics and get yourself in that position. So 4 years goes quite quickly in this game. And I just think what I'm trying to do is enjoy the process, take each moment as it comes, and just make a lot of right decisions along the way. And I think since watching the games, I've made some good decisions and made some good improvements. So hoping to keep that going.
Epic. And one other thing that's really cool, that you've been in the game quite a long time, haven't it? You've been on RSX a long time as well. So how I'm sure you remember all those good times on that RSX. But how does the IQ class now compare to those times on the RSX?
That's a loaded question. You know, it's not even a comparison, is it? I mean, you know, I'd say the RSX was technically very challenging. There was so many different conditions and setups and everything. And what I love about IQ is you go out on a Saturday because you just want to go windsurfing, and you never did that on an RSX. You know, you wouldn't go, you know what I fancy doing today? I fancy a blast on my RSX. You don't say that, but I mean, with IQ, it's just so fun. You go out and you mess around with your foil tacks as we do in Portland Harbour. It's the dreamy place to do it. So it's just great. It's a really fun class, and I'm really glad to still be a part of it.
Again, just injecting that fun into it, that element, like we said at the start, you know, windsurfing is so much more than a sport to so many of us. I know obviously we're at the pinnacle of that sport in the Olympics and things, but ultimately so much of it is a lifestyle, like you guys said, you know, sending foil tacks in Portland Harbour. You know, so many windsurfers out there know that feeling of getting to that Saturday and going out with your mates and getting on the water, and it's so cool to see that even at the top of the sport, that's still kind of the focus, really, right?
I mean, you have to. I mean, there are some people who are serious all the time, and that's their model of doing it, but personally, you know, the Emma Wilson School of Fun, just going out there and having a great time, I'd much rather align myself with that than, you know, I think it keeps the motivation high and makes it a lot more fun along the way with you and the boys.
Yeah. Love to hear it. Yeah, well, Matt, thanks for your insights, and best of luck for the next couple of days.
Lads, hope to see you proud.
Cheers, Matt.
Thank you so much.
Great to hear. There is just that continuing trend, isn't there, of everyone here, and it does feel like, you know, the people we've spoken to today are the guys at the top of these leaderboards, and they've all said the same thing, that they're kind of trying to get into that relaxed state, whether it's Pavel with his family, or Matt there with the boys, or Aalvaa and Anastasia as well, kind of just trying to obviously get some great results, but actually realizing the reason they got those great results was because they were kind of relaxing into it a little bit more. So as you said, Rafferty, we haven't had a great couple of days. We had a real storm day yesterday, some rubbish weather today, beautiful weather, but that wind just didn't quite materialize. I think there's still something funky going on after yesterday's storm, but let's talk about the next couple of days. Let's take a little look at that forecast. Talk us through what we're seeing on screen here.
Look at that. I mean, we're seeing those 2 grey days, day 2 and day 3. Those are the days that we've already had. Day 2, we did have we had that racing. It was still quite light, 5 to 8 knots, but we did manage to get some slalom racing going, which was epic. Still had some action out here on the waters of Cagliari, the bay, the beautiful little waters here. It's been dreamy. Day 3, as you said, it was storm day. It was mega. Like I remember looking up to the sky, and it was like, God's like he's not having a happy day.
It was so dark, and a crazy storm yesterday evening, and it was so kind of hot. Barely saw any of the athletes. They kind of called the action off quite early, didn't they? Because obviously there was some lightning in the sky as well. So with that being said, there can be no action on the water when that happens. So yesterday, and then sadly today it looked for a minute like it was going to materialize. It was in the right direction, and they kind of went out and they were posting pictures with the anemometer, and it just said 0.0 a few times. But the 2 days we've got coming up, you can see there, 14 to 22 knots tomorrow. That is perfect conditions for us to run some course racing.
It's going to be dreamy, it's going to be game on, it's going to be race on, and it's going to be action on. And as you said, some maybe course racing, as we had a lot of slalom, but whichever racing we do, it's going to be sick. So yeah, day 4, we had no racing today, but it was awesome to catch up with some of the riders here, getting some insights. That was I had a great time talking with them. It was awesome, wasn't it? And then for that day number 5 is tomorrow. What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow, it is going to be the penultimate day, which is always a huge day in any iQFOiL event, because it is all about qualifying and getting yourself up into that top 10. It's everyone's last chance to do it. And after day 5, after the penultimate day, the majority of the pack, they're going home. It's
Indeed.
the end.
Well, not I don't know about home.
Well, they'll stick around.
Yeah.
But they're not going out on the race course anymore, are they?
Indeed.
They'll be cheering, as we saw, Aalvaa said as well, there is that kind of pack mentality among the nations, isn't there? Everyone is supporting their athletes and things. So whilst they're not necessarily, as I said, going home, but, they will not be taking out onto that race course. So, it will just be the top 10 going into the final day, which will be all about the medal races.
Game on. Absolutely.
Yeah,
medal races on that last day, where the top 10 will be fighting it out to get those podium positions and ultimately crown the 2024 iQFOiL European champion. So it's going to be epic. I mean, the next days, as you said, those 2 days, we've got some really good forecasts coming up where we will definitely, nothing's certain, obviously.
No, we'll keep it all crossed.
But we will get some racing. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Absolutely, yeah. And with that, that is the end of the show for today. Please do stay tuned to our social channels for all of the kind of behind-the-scenes action and any updates on what's going tomorrow. As we've just said, it does look like we're in for a big day of action tomorrow. But yeah, stay tuned. You can follow us over on Instagram at iQFOiL Class, where you can see all the behind-the-scenes action. That's it from us. Thank you very much. And we will see you guys tomorrow.
See you around.